Welcome to r/slash Am I the Butthole, where lunch thieves at work discover they've been stealing and eating dog food. Am I the butthole for letting my coworker eat my dog food for close to 6 months? Earlier last year, I bought a puppy, some kind of walking mop. Cute as heck. The seller warned me that the puppy had very specific dietary requirements. Honestly, the last thing I wanted to do on my time off was make dog food, so I approached a woman recommended by my local pet shop to make 2 weeks worth of food. She uses very cheap cuts of meat, grains, and supplements specifically formulated for dogs. I pick up the individually packaged bags every Monday morning and keep them in a plastic container labeled with my name in the community fridge at work. Then I take it home after work. It doesn't take up much room. A while ago, I noticed that some of my bags began going missing. Then I found the empty bags in the waste bin. To be clear, they're marked with my initials and a black Sharpie. I immediately knew what was going on, and I thought that it was funny. Luckily, my mother is in love with Mop Face, and whenever she dog sits, which happens 3 times a week, she feeds the dog, so the pupper never goes hungry. So I just let it go on, occasionally complaining to HR and colleagues about my specialty food being stolen. Other than a sternly worded email that HR sent out, nothing was ever done. Finally, during our 6-month productivity meeting, I loudly complained that my bags of dog food were still going missing on the regular. Because now I was actually getting pissed at the blatant theft. 2 young guys gave me horrified looks. Neither of them ever fessed up to the pilfering, but since that meeting, my dog food has never gone missing. My close office colleague thought that it was funny, but he said that I was the real butthole for allowing it to go on for so long. So, am I the butthole? Yo, hold on! How is it your fault? What do you mean, allowed it to go on for so long? OP tried to stop it! He went to HR. He reported the theft. A strongly worded email was sent out. What is he supposed to do? Sit in front of the fridge with an AK-47 and interrogate anyone who comes by for food? OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving the food thieves and your stupid coworker 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for not letting my mom come to my wedding after she ignored me my whole life? I'm a 26-year-old guy, and I'm getting married to my fiancée, Sarah, who's 25 in a few months, and I'm super excited about it. But there's one big issue with all the planning: my mom. My parents divorced when I was 8, and my mom, Layla, remarried pretty quickly after that. She married this guy, Dave, who had 2 kids of her own. Ever since, it's like I was no longer a priority in her life. She focused all of her attention on Dave and his kids. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say that she treated them way better than me. They'd go on trips, she'd go to all their sports events, and they'd get everything they wanted. Meanwhile, I felt like I was invisible. My mom didn't ask about my school, didn't care about my friends, or even my mental health. I started to feel like I wasn't even her kid anymore. When I turned 18, I moved out. I thought that maybe she would care and try to stay in touch, but nope, she didn't. I would text her once in a while just to check in, and she would either not respond or say that she was busy with Dave and the kids. I figured if she didn't care, why should I? So I just stopped trying to reach out. Fast forward to now. I'm planning my wedding, and out of nowhere, my mom starts texting me like we're super close. She wants to know all the details, saying how excited she is, and even saying things like, "I can't wait to see you start this new chapter." Like, seriously? I haven't heard from her in years, and now she expects to be front and center for my wedding? I told her straight up that I did not want her there. I said that I'm not comfortable with her coming after everything that's happened, and that if she really wants to have a relationship, we can talk about it after the wedding, but not before. She started crying, saying that I'm holding a grudge and that I'm her son and she deserves to be there. But I don't know how I'm supposed to just forget the fact that she ignored me my whole childhood in favor of Dave's kids. Now my family is split. Some of them think that I'm right and that I shouldn't just let her show up when she never showed up for me. Others think that I should just let it go and it's just one day and I should let her come to the wedding to keep the peace. Yeah, I like how it's just one day for the mom. Meanwhile, the mom literally can't spare one day over the course of, like 10 years for OP. So I'm on your side, OP. She can pound sand. I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your mom 3 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for uninviting my fiance's work wife from our wedding? I'm a 29-year-old woman, and I'm supposed to be marrying the love of my life, who's 31 in a few months. We've been planning this wedding for over a year, and it's been a beautiful but stressful experience. But there's one person casting a shadow over everything, and that's my fiance's work wife, Lily, who's 30. My fiance and Lily have been friends and coworkers for around 5 years. At first, I was honestly relieved that he had a good friend at work, especially since his job can be demanding and a bit isolating. I tried to be the cool, understanding partner who wasn't bothered by how close they were. But over time, their bond became, well, it became something I just don't know how to handle. Lily is a huge part of his life. They text constantly, often late into the night about everything from work issues to little jokes. She knows things about him that I sometimes don't, and it stings to realize how much he turns to her for advice and laughs instead of me. My fiance reassures me that they're just friends, that she's his work wife and that it's no big deal. But it feels like she's gotten so close that I'm sometimes the one who's on the outside looking in. As we got deeper into wedding planning, Lily started chiming in with her opinions. She had suggestions about our venue. It doesn't feel like him. Our flowers. He's never liked bright colors, remember? And even my dress, mentioning offhandedly that she knew his style and could help me pick something that he'd love. I tried to laugh it off, but it hurt more than I wanted to admit. Here I am planning my wedding, and I felt like I had to measure up to her view of who my fiance is. Last week was our engagement party, and it was supposed to be such a happy day. But I kept noticing Lily glued to his side. I tried to join their conversations, but every time she would bring up a work story or an inside joke that left me feeling like a third wheel at my own engagement. Then, in one of the worst moments, I walked up just as she was saying, "You know, if you change your mind, you could always marry me instead." My heart sank. I don't know if she was joking or half serious, but my fiance laughed, brushing it off like it was no big deal. I couldn't just let it go. I pulled my fiance aside later that night and told him how inappropriate her comment was. He looked at me surprised and said that I was taking it too seriously and that Lily was just joking around. I felt like I was going crazy, like maybe I was seeing something that wasn't there, but how would anyone be okay hearing that from someone so close to their fiance? The last straw came towards the end of the night. Lily had a few drinks, and she came up to me asking if I was really okay with how close they were. She said something like, I can't imagine him with anyone else. It felt like a knife to my chest. I wanted to scream, but instead I just walked away. Later, I told my fiance that I didn't want her at our wedding, that it was too painful to have someone there who clearly saw herself as part of our relationship. He got defensive, saying that I was overreacting and letting jealousy ruin a friendship that he cherishes. He even implied that uninviting her would damage his reputation at work. And now he's barely talking to me because he says that I'm making him choose between his best friend and his fiance. I don't know what to think anymore. I feel hurt, small, and like my feelings don't matter. My friends support me, but his friends think that I'm overreacting and letting insecurity ruin our relationship. Am I the one blowing this up, or am I right to want some respect and boundaries? OP, yeah, you should uninvite Lily from the wedding, and while you're at it, uninvite your fiance from the wedding too. Because even if they haven't had a physical affair yet, and maybe they have, it sounds like they're already having an emotional affair. Either way, I would not let that disrespect slide. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your fiance and Lily 2.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for telling my fiance that my stepdaughter isn't mine, so sort it yourself? I'm a 27-year-old man and my fiance is 30. We've been together for nearly 4 years. I have a 6-year-old son and my fiance has an 11-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. Up until now, we've never had any issues regarding the children. Yesterday, her daughter was set to go on a camping trip for a friend's birthday where they'd be doing activities like kayaking. My fiance dressed her in a dress, and I mentioned to her that it didn't seem like the right choice for the occasion. She seemed offended and said that her daughter could wear whatever she liked and that it wasn't a man's place to judge. I tried to clarify what I meant, but she cut me off saying, "She's my daughter, not yours." So I took my son to a pre-planned match when my fiance rang me. It turns out the birthday girl's mom told her daughter that she couldn't go in a dress and she needed to wear a tracksuit or something similar, so they didn't let her get on the bus. My fiance then asked if I could leave the match early to drive her daughter to the activity center. I replied, "Why should I? She's not my daughter and I'm here with my son." Neither of us are talking to each other right now. I do feel pity for my stepdaughter, and I wasn't being spiteful. My son was looking forward to the match, and besides, it would be like 4 hours of travel for me. Am I the butthole? Obviously the real problem here is the hypocrisy of the fiancé, but who sends a little girl kayaking in a dress? That's just beyond idiotic. Then, a week later, OP posted an update. I had a conversation with my fiancé, and she asked why I would say something hurtful. I replied that I was just repeating what she had said to me earlier. Then she asked if I loved her daughter, and I said that I did. She asked if I loved her daughter as much as I loved my son, and I responded, almost as much. She got cranky. I asked her if she loved my son, and she said no. I asked if she loved me, and her answer was, sort of. She started crying, woke up her daughter, and told her they had to leave, though I hadn't told them to go. I said that we could talk about it tomorrow, but she insisted and told her daughter that I don't want them anymore. I told her daughter that I never said that. Her daughter began crying and didn't want to leave, but her mother said, "Don't make me leave on my own, he doesn't want you." I reassured them both that they were welcome to stay. My fiancé decided to leave without her daughter. What? And now she's not answering. When I spoke to my stepdaughter's father, he just laughed and said that she couldn't even hold off the crazy until after the wedding. Okay, emotionally manipulating OP like that is bad enough as it is, but to drag the daughter into it and manipulate her just to get back at OP, this lady is nuts. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your fiancé 3 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for making a woman lose a costume contest? So, I'm the events chair of my fraternity for this semester, and I planned out a Halloween party that happened yesterday. At the party, we typically have a huge costume contest. You pay $5 to enter, and if you win the pot. We usually pull about 30 to 50 entries, so the prize is pretty nice. This year, we had 40 people enter and about 160 people attending. In years past, the winner has been this one specific chick that all my fraternity brothers want to bang. Her costume is usually the typical sorority girl costume. An animal of some kind, boots, fishnet leggings, a short skirt, basically a bra or corset, and then animal ears and light face paint. Now, I'm not a Halloween dictator. This year, my costume was literally just angel wings, white shorts, and a halo. I know fully well that I'm just dressing up so that hot guys will think that I'm hot, but I know that it's not a good costume. But this other girl's costume isn't good either. Sure, she looks good in it, but the point of the party is who has the best boobs. So we have the contest, and she's wearing her outfit. She was a B, but her butt was hanging out, and her boobs were about to fall out of her shirt. So we held the contest, people voted anonymously, and guess what? She won, but by 1 vote. I hadn't voted yet, so I simply cast my vote, as well as my vice chairman, who agreed with me and casted his vote. This just happened to be enough to put her at second place. When I told my brothers, they whined and moaned about it. But I told them she simply didn't win and she should do better next year. They eventually talked me into creating a runner-up prize of $50 for this girl. When we announced the winner, this girl was visibly upset. This was the first time she hadn't won in the last 4 years. Now, apparently, last night, one of my brothers was simping hard and told her that I intentionally voted against her because I didn't like her. Which is not true. I'm genuinely apathetic about her. She found me later that night and cursed me out and said that I had a problem with her. I simply told her that we weren't having a sluttiest costume contest, but a best costume contest, and that she's lucky that we bent the rules to give her $50. We argued and ended up getting separated. Now a lot of my brothers are pissed at me for pissing her off. Alright, this story's a mess. OP, clearly you do have a grudge. You just straight up don't like this girl, which is fine. Also, your criteria of, this isn't the sluttiest costume contest, is just dumb. People can vote on whatever criteria they want. You voted because you don't like her costume, so everyone else can vote because they do like their costume. That's literally how democracy works. It's arbitrary and dumb, but that's how it goes. It sounds to me, if I'm being perfectly honest, that someone is jealous because the winning girl is hotter than you, OP. So, OP, I'm giving you 1 out of 5 buttholes. I'm also giving the dudes 1 out of 5 buttholes because, come on, stop being such a simp. I don't think I want to give the B girl a butthole score because, what's her crime here? That she came to win? That she knows her audience? Hey, turns out frat boys like butts and boobs. Who could have figured? Of course she's going to win. The girl just knows how to play the game. So I'm giving her 0 out of 5 buttholes. That was rSlash Am I the Butthole, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.